For the players, the pop culturist PlayStation podcast is fueled by the Man Shake. I lost 30 kilos in 10 months using this meal replacement shake. If you want to support the show and max in my weight loss journey, or to even start your own, click the link in the description below. The Man Shake. Real blokes, real results.
For the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the pop culture of PlayStation podcast. Over 40 years of playing PlayStation and 6+ years in that games media combined. I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, come check out our socials. Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All of our links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join us as the conversation happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can get in the chat and you can become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation pod. If you're on the podcast service, give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Max, I'm trying something this week.
Okay.
Something that I've tried to do many times before, but I've never had success.
You're gonna have to.
Yeah, no, I didn't really narrow it down.
You have to narrow it down.
They really narrow it down. Yeah. I've decided I'm gonna try do the beard thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've tried to grow the beard out in the past, but my beard is garbage. As you can see, it's a hot mess. But it has gotten better over the last couple of years. So, you know, now that I'm in my 30s, I'm finally hitting puberty, so I'm giving it a red hot go. But what I decided to do as well, because the thing that I always think I look like rat shit, but I did the tidy up. I did the neck tidy up this morning, so it wasn't coming down into this space, which is the big hurdle for me. Because I was like, oh, that's where it looks kind of scraggly. It feels weird. It does feel weird. I'm not sure. So previously, I have tried to grow the beard, and my anxiety got the better of me. And I was like lying in bed. It was 2 a.m. Goes, you look like a fucking idiot. You should go shave your beard. I'm like, I should go shave my beard. And I did at 2 a.m. because my brain wigged out. But I think I'm in a better space, and I think I can try it. I'll see how it goes.
Oh, fair enough.
Have you bearded?
I can't.
You can't beard?
No, I get really bad psoriasis, and then I just want to scratch my face off, so
Yeah.
I just shave.
Well, that's the problem that I'm having now. Is like, even though it's only like I shave my beard. See, I only have to shave my beard like once a week. I'm very lucky. I could shave every couple of days, but I'm super lazy too.
Yeah, I'm the same. I shave like once a week.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, I'm like,
yesterday.
yeah, maybe I'll give it a go. Maybe I'll give it a go. Look, because if anything, I'm going to do the exact opposite of what everyone else did during the pandemic. During the pandemic, you know, when we were in lockdown, when we were in quarantine, everyone was growing quarantine beards. I'm vaccinated now, so I'm going to grow a vaccination beard. I'm going to do the exact opposite of what everybody else did.
Okay, fair enough. Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's how things happened this week. I've been vaccinated. My arm fucking kills. Like, I didn't have any major side effects. Like, no clots, nothing yet.
No headache.
Oh, I had a fucking huge headache. But
that's like the main side effect is you'll get like a killer migraine.
The hurdle is I had a ripper headache the day before. So I was driving. So I got the vaccination on the Thursday, and on the Wednesday, I was driving. The irony is I was driving to my myotherapist, who's the guy that fixes all my back and shit. And as I was driving to him, I turned and I twinched my neck. I went, oh fuck me, that sucks. That's horrible. And then instant like shooting pain over the top of my head, into my eyes. I'm like, fuck. So I get to the Mayo. He does whatever he needs to. Tries it because it just happened. There's not a lot he could do. He's like, do what you can. Heat pack it, whatever, when you get home. I get home and the pain is intense. I'm thinking I'm going to fucking die. So much so I go, oh, and then just like vomit. Like the pain is searing. It feels like something's trying to collapse my brain in, right? It was brutal. I couldn't move my neck. I was complete Frankenstein. It was horrible. So then I went, and then I just kind of passed. I vomited a handful of times and then just went to sleep. So the next day, which was day for my vaccination, I was still feeling like rat shit. So the real irony is the day after my vaccination, where I should have had the most things, I felt fucking fantastic because it wasn't Wednesday. So I still had a headache, but I'm like, is this just a rollover headache from when my brain wanted to explode the other day? Who knows? But today, though, the arm fucking hurts. The spot hurts, and my tricep hurts, weirdly enough. Like this bit here. I don't know what's going on with that, but that fucking sucks. So there you go. I can now finally return to licking things. I'm all vaccinated. And I don't.
You've had one shot. Calm down. You can lick half the things.
Yeah. Well, once again, if come PAX, I'm good. So it's me and like 4 other people at PAX that are vaccinated.
Yeah.
How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been pretty chill. My wife had the week off, so I got to kind of chill this week, which was nice. So they were away Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. They went on a family vacay without me, which was fun.
Good, best kind.
Lived that batch life. Played tons of games. Did nothing else. But that was good. Was
it no pants for like 3 days?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
It's the rules of bachelor life. If you do, you just fuck off pants.
But other than that, it's been a week.
Nice.
Yeah, works good finally.
Yeah.
Again, so that's nice.
Finally, back in.
There's just drama, casual.
Always
general work drama seems to have been past now.
Work dramas are the worst.
So,
I'm in a similar boat, but my work drama is certainly easing as well, which is nice. So it's good to be on the other side of the work dramas, which is cool. Justin in the chat goes, "That's cool shit, Ryan. Thank you very much. Bought it from JJ's." As I was saying, the only downside is my fucking polyester. So it's warm in here, and there's like no breathability in polyester. It just holds that shit in. It's going to get gross. But other than that, it's pretty sweet. Anything else happened this week? I think Wrestlemania happened over the weekend. That was pretty fucking mad.
I heard it was garbage.
I'd like... It could
everything I heard about it was absolute hot garbage.
It could have been better.
And instead of it just being one load of hot garbage, they separated it over...
2 days of questionable material. No, look, it wasn't too bad. And say because last week is we didn't really talk about it because I was in the middle of it when we recorded. But like last week was my essentially WrestleMania week, so it was like 6-7 days of straight wrestling. It was fantastic. Obviously culminating with WrestleMania on Sunday and the Monday, and it wasn't bad. Like there were some like that was a weird decision, but like it could have been so much worse. It was fine. But we'll talk more about that if you want to check that out, go check out Young and the Wrestlers. That's the other show that we do here, where Jem and I in studio for the first time in like 18 months, and we recorded the show again, and it was awesome to talk about WrestleMania. What we do in this show though, talk about PlayStation and games. Nice.
What have you been
playing?
I dove into Doom 3 VR this week, so thank you to...
Yeah, so big thank you to Johnny, the community manager for Bethesda Australia, who hit us up on Twitter, as we discussed, not last week, but before, where he was reaching out for PlayStation content creators that were willing to check it out, and we got name dropped by a couple of people, so he whipped us a message and gave us a code. It's Absolute Champion. Now, because as I said, my brain has been on fire this week, I've actively avoided putting a headset on.
So I set everything up. It took me a while because it turns out that only some USB ports on the PlayStation 5 will work with the dongle.
Really?
Yep. Turns out it's just not the front one, which was the easiest for me to access at the time. And it's like, no, your camera's not working. I'm like, oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm like, did I get a faulty dongle? Is this how it is?
Yeah.
Jumped on the YouTubes and they're like, no, dickhead, put it in the back.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. So it took me about 20 minutes to set up the VR, get everything calibrated. Turn the game on, and it's like, I'm sorry, you can't verify your license. I'm like, oh no.
What?
So I had to turn the PlayStation off, turn it back on. It's like, yeah, no, it's all good.
It's you're using the PopC account.
And then my aim controller was flat.
Your aim controller. All right, fun fact, by the way. I lent Max my aim controller and Farpoint.
Yeah.
Like 11 years ago.
And then a bunch of other VR games. And they're now mine because they've lived in my house for
They've been there
years.
so long. I can't even tell you what other ones are there. But he's taken it back, I guess. And it's now the show one, I guess.
So that was an extra cable that I had to have attached to me because I had to have that plugged in.
Yeah.
Which was fine. It was fun. So I got it set up. I played the first 3 missions, so it's Doom 3 ported into VR. So the same structure, everything was cool. Graphically, it's not fantastic.
What is an PS3 360 game?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's going to look like rat shit anyway, which makes it workable in VR.
So obviously they did put a little bit when you're standing close to humans in like their kind of not cutscene, but you know when they're spitting their monologue at you, their faces kind of look okay. You don't want to.
Okay, cool.
It's not like you're like, ooh, you're too close. Take a step back. So it gets you into it pretty quickly. Obviously, you do your first mission where you're just running through the area, and they're like, go get all your equipment, do all that stuff. Takes about 20 minutes to actually start shooting stuff. Some of the control choices for me were a bit strange. So in typical fashion, they start you off. The default is because I was using the aim controller. You do snap turns with the thumbstick under your right thumb.
Snap turns are the worst.
Yeah, so obviously instantly took off snap turns, put on smooth, and the sensitivity is way too high. Like you literally just spin around in circles. It's kind of jarring.
Glad I did not.
And there is no way to turn that down.
What?
There's no sensitivity in the VR settings. I couldn't unless it's
either snap or vomit.
Unless it's buried somewhere else, and I didn't look hard enough. It's not in the VR setting, so it's snap, and you can change it from like 15 degrees, 25 degrees. You can change the severity of your snap turning. The other thing is obviously you have free movement of your head, but it doesn't pivot your body at all. So if you turn to look upstairs to walk, but you hold down forward to walk forward, you're walking this way but looking that way.
Yeah.
So that was another bit of a shame because a lot of the more recent VR titles do kind of follow where your head's looking to take away that jarring sensation of walking in one direction but looking the other way. Obviously, that does have its benefits of when you're running away and you're trying to shoot something. It's fine. It works well. The aim controller was, I don't know if it was me setting it up weird, but it had, obviously, because you're in game when you start, I'm holding a pistol with one hand, but I'm holding an aim controller with two, and you kind of, to aim it straight, you have to hold it like this in front of your chest.
That is the weird thing, yeah.
And obviously that's the weird thing. So,
but that's also the same for almost every other VR game.
No, I agree. So what I did, obviously, I just stood side on because you can still see the screen, and then I just angled myself. So I'm shooting normally holding it to my side, but it was shooting straight. Was fairly accurate, which was good. There wasn't too much jitter like you see in some games, especially when you're using the move controllers. It wasn't having any problems mapping where I was looking, where I was going. The controls, they've changed the HUD, obviously, so you don't have it's on a wristwatch. So you can kind of just look up.
How's the integration go?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's weird because obviously when you're looking, especially when you're not holding weapons or anything like that, you've got two fists out, and your two fists are like this, but you're obviously holding the aim controller like this. So it's a bit disjointed when you're trying to look at stuff like that. The interaction on like touching the touchpads in game, you kind of point your gun at the screen and then a little cursor will appear and you can just click where you want to do. It's just a button press as opposed to like poking it, which is nice. Yeah. So I played for about 4 hours and then went, I need a break from VR. Yeah. So I think I played the first 2-3 missions. Some of the demons are really hard to shoot. If they're fast, you've got to be flailing a little bit. But all in all, it's pretty tight.
Have you played the original Doom 3?
Yeah, many, many years ago.
Okay, I haven't played it at all, so I have no context.
On PC.
So how does it feel compared to that? Obviously, the whole VR completely changes
the VR
the feel of the game.
Obviously completely changes it. It feels fine. Like, it wouldn't be a bad way to experience it. But if you're new to VR and you're easily motion sick, this will not help your cause at all. Because like I said, I couldn't find it. It might be in there, but there's no way to change that sensitivity down. And the snap turning is a hot mess for most VR games. So,
yeah,
but it is personal preference. Like, I know a lot of people do like playing that snap movement. But it's not for me. I find it very jarring, especially when it's such a quick turn and then you just stop all of a sudden.
That makes me vom harder,
Yeah.
So Doom 3 is known very much as such a tonal shift in the Doom franchise. So much so that's why Doom 2016 exists. In the idea that it is more spooksy, more scary, a lot of dark corridors and stuff like that. How does that translate into the VR space? Is it nice and spooks?
Yeah, you have a flashlight attached to the end of your gun, so you can only see where you're aiming.
Oh, that sounds horrifying. I love it. All right. Does that
So
work well?
yeah, it's not too bad. Obviously, so you for those who haven't used an aim controller, you got 2 sets of triggers. So the front trigger is your torch, and you can flash people on and off, and then you've got your actual shoot trigger. So that's not too bad. It works really well.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, so hopefully you probably spend a bit more time with it in the coming
Oh
future.
yeah, I'll definitely play more of it. It was just after 4 hours, I was a hot sweaty mess, and I needed to take the headset off.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand.
I've also been playing more Trials of Cold Steel on the Switch, so that was a big thank you to the guys over at Bandai. So I'm at about the 20-hour mark now. I've been told I've still got a lot ahead of me.
Like a hundo or something?
Yeah, so it's one of those big sprawling JRPGs. I'm in a section that's rather exposition heavy, which is fine. The story's really compelling. It does push you through quite nicely. And obviously it is wrapping up a story that's been told over up-10th games. So that it's to be expected. The game's still rad. I'm playing it on the Switch. I'm playing it only in handheld mode. Haven't docked it at all yet. I'm just playing pure handheld mode. I'm loving it. It's great.
Very nice. Speaking of Bandai, though, one thing that you and I have both been playing, is that I've not played a whole lot of games this week. But one thing that I've certainly been putting a lot of time into is when I have been able to get into this room is Outriders. So I'm at level 16 now. I'm in the 4th region. So I'm not like not even halfway, I don't think.
No, you don't have that much left.
Yeah. So the big difference is that I'm doing all the side missions as I see them. I'm not like heading down the main path. And I'm fucking loving it. That game is so good. It's very, very good. And as of right now, except for like that 20-something minutes, half an hour that you and I played together, like I've played entirely solo. And I do drift between the world tiers, but I'm at the world tier 6 now. So I'm just trying to like level it up for funsies. And if a boss gets too hard or I get a little bit too angry at a section, I'm like, I'll just pump it down to about 2. Got a 4. All right, beautiful. Clear it through. Move it back up to 6. Keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Saying that though, you put way more in than I have.
So I rolled credits on it this week. I have.
How does the overall story go now that you've rolled credits?
It's pretty good. So the story culminates. I don't want to spoil anything for those still playing, but basically the story culminates into you playing the end game, and it gives you a reason why the end game's there.
Beautiful.
So it ultimately pays off.
Awesome. Very good.
Yeah. So yeah, I rolled credits. So I've got a level 28 Trickster, a level 26 Technomancer, a level 26 Tanky Dude, and I'm just started Pyro. So I'm like level 11 with the Pyro. So my first playthrough, I played through.
I've done 16 levels of one character this week.
So my first playthrough, I did the same as you. I played at the highest possible world tier. I think I'm unlocked to world tier 11. I did the same thing. If I couldn't beat a boss, after three attempts, I'd drop it and then push it back up once I finished the boss. My other characters that I finished the game on, I'd never ever took it off world tier 1.
Oh, okay. So this probably explains why.
Because there is no point, because there's no XP bonuses. Okay. And like all your hardcore grinding for gear at the end game happens at the end game, and you just want to get there as fast as possible. So you just run through. I'm just like, the Technomancer was probably the easiest because it has the highest weapon leech. So you can just stand in the middle of like 30 dudes, and as long as you're just shooting, you just don't die. It's ridiculous. They're like this character is a support and long range unit. I'm like standing there with a submachine gun in the middle of everyone, just not dying. But the game's rad.
Game is fantastic.
The game's really good. I'm still having issues every once in a while trying to log in.
Me too. It's bullshit.
It'll sit in the sign-in screen for like a couple of minutes, and then I'm like, close. So
what I'm finding is that if I shut down if I reset the console, then it goes, oh yeah, cool. Which is super weird. Like obviously my console stays in standby most of the time, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I put it in. If I get it to restart, and then I 9 times out of 10 I get in the first try. So it's super weird. Like that with whole connectivity thing's big concern. I don't think that big update has dropped yet for it.
Yeah, so it was they called it a big update, but it was only like 800 meg.
Is that it?
It's supposed to have fixed the issue of people losing both their characters and their gear.
Oh.
So their latest tweet Their latest tweet was this morning saying that they're going to monitor it over the weekend, and then they're going to work on getting everyone's shit back for them next week.
Oh, cool. So that there's obviously some sort of back-end data saying what you had, so then you would get it all back.
You might not get the same stats on the weapon, because obviously they're all randomly rolled, but they're going to attempt to give you back the weapon, and some people have lost entire characters. Oof. So they're trying to get those back for them
rough.
as well.
That's very rough. Very rough.
Especially in a game designed about grinding gear and
loots and all those things. Well, that's a big old bummer for that. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'll hopefully be able to put some more time into it. So I've got some more wrestling to watch tonight. So probably put that on and play Outriders, which is mad. Additionally, one thing that I have been playing that you have not, I presume, MLB The Show.
No, I haven't yet. It's downloaded, ready to go.
Yeah, so big thank you to PlayStation Australia. They provided us the review code, so we got it day before the Ultimate Edition went live. So not a whole lot of time with it. However, in that time, I've been able to do exactly what I do in every episode of every version of MLB The Show I do, and I spend an unnecessarily amount of time making my face. I make me in the game. So the hurdle that I had this year, Max, I still don't really, I'm not really sure where my face is at right now. Because I have an understanding of what my face is. And it was easy. It was round with glasses, big lips and hair. I could make anything look like me. It's a caricature level. Like you find the bits that stand out the most. My face isn't so round anymore.
Yes.
Made it very hard. Because I was like, is that too much? And then it was because I was making the character while watching AEW with friends of the show, Dash and Craig from the Mullet Show, and I'm like, does this look like me? Like, dude, your jaw is way, like, sort of taps off in the back, like your jaw is way more defined now. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Rebuild the jaw, and the only downside I've got so far is it doesn't allow me to have glasses, and because like obviously a big part of what my face is my glasses. And we had to, eventually I put a picture, Dash goes, give me a look. And then he photoshops a picture of my glasses on, and I was like, you champion. And then it nails it. That helped me go, yep, that's exactly my face. Fantastic. I loved it. I was very, very happy. So I got to do what I do every time, which is live out the fantasy of playing for the Detroit Tigers, because that's the team that I got into X amount of years ago. So for those who don't know, I do have a bit of a history with baseball. So back, it'd be like 11-ish years ago now. So when I used to work in McDonald's on overnights, I used to work in the drive-thru, and some nights it's dead, but there was always the drive-thru booth was always off. The drive-thru booth was off the staff room, so I had the TV on. And I just flicking, nothing's on. But Channel 1 at the time, which was like, the original idea was sports. They had baseball. They used to run like 3 baseball games over a night. I was like, shit, yeah. So I just played baseball on. And then I started really getting into it and really, really enjoying it. And then I felt connected to this one team, which was the Detroit Tigers. Reason being that I saw a player called Prince Fielder. Prince Fielder's like this 6'8", big, burly-ass black dude with mad dreads. He comes in and just goes, Ba-duh! And rockets the ball in any direction every time I see him. I'm like, holy shit, I like this guy. What team is that? That's my team now. Decision made. Little did I realize at the time, like when Prince Fielder was a part of the Detroit Tigers, also had Justin Verlander, who's one of the best pitchers ever, and Miguel Cabrera, who was also one of the best hitters ever. So I was having to really pick really, really well. But yeah, and then as my work life changed and I wasn't up at 2 a.m. anymore, I slowly stepped away from baseball. I used to watch it here and there, but it's tough because by the time the results would come out in the morning, so by the time I pulled up the game, I already know the answer. I'm like, which is a bummer because I did quite enjoy just sitting there, sipping whatever and watching it when I could. So I've kind of not has been as directly involved in the baseball. However, one thing I do love to do is play MLB The Show, because I'll have my phone, I'll listen to pods, and I'll just play the game, and I'll just like do Road to the Show, which is essentially their career mode, and just create my character and just make his way through. And so most of the time I'll end up going down the path of Detroit Tigers. I'll play the Erie Seawolves and then the Toledo Mudhens, and then so that's in the AAA and the AA, and then over to the majors, where I'll play for Detroit, and that's where the plan I go. Sometimes I just put on random to see where it takes me. But there is a bunch of different changes for the road to the show here. So normally, as the game, this does every year, you create your character and you play, you do, and then you go and you work your way up the minors into the majors. They've done some things a little bit different here, which is kind of cool. So previously, when you create your character, you pick your preferred position, and you pick whether you want to be a pitcher or a hitter, and then sort of go from there, right? They've done something a little bit different here. So in the road to the show, they've gone, all right, well, you are a pitcher and a hitter. And then the entire story, at least the first bit of it, is all about they've discovered this new rookie who can do both.
Okay.
Which is really cool. And so what they've done is, previously, they didn't really had cutscenes in the game from memory. But this year they have. So they have people from the MLB, whether it be I think there's a Road to the Show podcast, and I think there's some other network analysts, and they sort of have like Zoom call. It's like it's the screen, it says their name and their picture, and they're like, let's talk about this new rookie, and this kind of runs off those beats. Now, I think it's probably very generic, but like it's enough to pull it forward. It's enough to give more, because one of the problems that they have when it comes to games like this is when it can seem really scripted in terms of how they're analyzing your character or how it's delivered, because they have to provide so many loose or so generic responses. That's really rough. So here it's generic, but like they're talking the same way that you and I are talking right now. Like it feels really organic, and it feels really like, I'd say like unpolished in a good way. Like clearly they're standing there and they're probably reading from a script or have been given dot points, and they're just kind of bullshitting the way they would if they were analyzing any other player. And it does change the energy of the campaign for me. But of course, I have no interest in being a pitcher. But the game forces you to do both, which is, I guess, for some is a bad time, not the best thing, right? Because one of the big things that they've changed here is the pitching system. So what they're doing is going, look, we'll bring the hitting in, the way you know what you're doing. You can try out the new pitching, and then the second you've done your first game, your first series as a hitter, you'll do just one match as a pitcher, and then you get met in the locker room and by your coach, and they go, hey, what do you want to do? And it goes, I want to do both, or I just want to work as a hitter, or I just want to work as a pitcher. So it gives you the option. Then it goes, oh, you just want to be a hitter? What position do you want to work in? And like, I like being shortstop. So shortstop is the guy that stands between second and third base, because the idea is he's right in the key moment to give everyone a good go. So for me, I find it's a bit more fun to play in a game setting, because any of the outfield, it's all about you just catching fly balls, and the game kind of, depending on how you want to play it, if you just make it play your appearances, so it only picks times in the 9 innings where your character is most relevant. Yeah. Which, if you're in the outfield, it's probably because there's a fly ball. So if you're in the shortstop, you have a higher chance of doing more things. And being a baseman is pretty mad as well. But the shortstop, I can do a bit more. So if second base needs to run off a little bit, I can run into there and then still help get everything I need. Yeah. It's probably my favorite position to play in the game. So that looks pretty good now, because like right now I'm playing in the minor leagues. So there's not as much care and detail put into these stadiums. Now they still look very good. The players look fine, but like, and because I'm playing on the PS5 version, and it looks sharp. It looks great. I've had no major hiccups. It runs nice and smooth. But you can see, okay, this is the part that they've not put as much care into. So I jumped into an exhibition match, which is just a one-off match, and I picked 2 teams. I'm pretty sure I picked Detroit Tigers and Chicago Red Sox. And I was like, cool, let's give it a go. Let's have a look at it. And then I looked at it, and it looked fucking fantastic.
So have you because they added a stadium editor this summer around, didn't they?
I have not fucked with the stadium editor yet.
Dived in yet?
But if I do, I will make PopC Stadium, and it'll be amazing. But I've not dicked about in the stadium creator. It looks to be pretty creative, which is nice. You can sort of do what you want with it. But I think I was going to carve out some time and fuck with it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, so like I was using Co-America Park, which is the Detroit Tigers home field, and yeah, it looks stunning. Like the HDR is coming through fantastic. So we're getting realistic glare, and even how the sun comes, or the shadow that comes across from the stands into the diamond, and then the field. Like it's the way it cuts through, and there's such a visual tonal difference between like an evening match and a day match and a morning match. It's these minor little details that are really adding to what it is, and like the game does feel new. It does feel next gen-y enough, you know what I mean? Which is great.
So does it have, being a PlayStation made game?
Yes.
Does it have DualSense support?
It does, but not in major ways. Like it doesn't. There's nothing that's standing out to me.
Okay.
Apart from a couple of things. So like when you're pitching, when you're fielding, so I've got the ball and I whip it, and like when you don't just press triangle and it goes there. Like it gives you a little target at first base or second base, and you got to push the right stick into it and then yeet it.
Yeah.
With the right trigger. So the right trigger does have an actual tension on it.
Oh, cool.
Which is cool. So you literally feel that push and then that release. As you peg it, the tension in the trigger drops.
Yeah.
You go, and then it hits the bottom. You go, oh, dope, fantastic. So that feels pretty cool in terms of the throw. The rumble's nice. When it hits the bat, you can kind of feel it reverberate through the controller. From memory, there's not like a running sort of sensation, but the sliding gives a nice rumble feel. So whether it's just general rumble support, but at least there's some adaptive trigger work in there, which is nice. Because when you are swinging, you are primarily using the face buttons. You're not going to get that same haptic feedback that you would when you're pitching, which is fine. Cool. Pitching or throwing. But yeah, obviously there's a lot of potential in here. There is obviously the Diamond Dynasty mode, which is their trading card game sort of side hustle, like their ultimate team.
Yeah.
And
side hustle.
Yeah, and there's like home run derby, and there's a bunch of side things you can do. So there's a lot in the game. I think there is like a GM sort of mode as well, which is cool. I don't tend to dive into them too often, but I will give them a squiz, mostly out of pure curiosity. And apparently the plat is really easy to get.
Apparently it's a super easy plat.
So I've never tried the trophy hunt for MLB because it's all like really specific scenarios. I'm like, how the fuck do I replicate that? Because if it's a trophy, you're like, all right, well, I need to get this exact circumstance so I can try get it. And you can't replicate it frequently enough to do it. I was like, oh, it's killing me. It's almost like by chance you have to get them. But if you play it over like a good hunk of time, you're probably gonna get it. Like if it's I'm speculating here, but it's like get your batting average to point something, or strike X amount of people out, or X amount of home runs. Yeah, so if it's things like that, that should be relatively straightforward. Because I know I got one for just starting the road to the show, and then I know I got one for just going to the derby, and I think there's a couple of very easy just giveaways. I think there's one if you open a pack in Diamond Dynasty or something as well, which is cool.
Yeah, I recently popped a bunch of easy trophies with the launch of PlayStation, the Final Fantasy Online coming to PS5 now. I opened it's like trophies.
Oh, because you remembered from PS4?
Because it remembers from PS4.
That's why I got that sneaky plat from Spider-Man Remastered.
That's how I got that cheeky plat from Destiny.
But anyway, MLB The Show is available now. The Ultimate Edition is available now. It is out on the 20th for anyone that wants to pick up the regular Standard Edition. For the first time ever, it is available on PlayStation and Xbox, and it is even available free on Xbox Game Pass. Want to hear our thoughts on that? Check out last week's episode. I don't think there was anything else I played this week. I think I wanted to play some... I didn't play any Disco. I wanted to, but I didn't. I know with that game I need to hunk out some time.
I played some GTA, but GTA is GTA. Yeah, nothing's really changed.
Yeah. And before we jump into the news, let's get into the section we call our Get Less Fat Update. For those that don't know, in 2020, I lost over 30 kilos using a product called the Man Shake. Bam. The Man Shake is a meal replacement shake that, in conjunction with a lifestyle change, you will ideally lose weight. So I said I used that last week. I'm an ambassador for the product, and as a result, we are both, Max now included, on the 2021 using it to continue. I'm going to start this whole again. We're using it to lose some more weight and make some lifestyle changes over this year. Max, where are you at right now?
I'm at 9.8 kilos lost total. So I think I lost like 200 grams this week. It was pretty crappy weight.
I would have just shat a little extra to get across that line.
I can still... spoilers for those playing at home. I chugged mine right before I came in, so all I can taste is caramel.
Yeah.
Every time I burp, this is caramel.
Yeah.
So sweet.
It's very nice.
It's so sweet. But yeah, it's fine. It's still a loss is a loss. I'm like this close. I've been like this close the last couple of weeks. It's been frustrating.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, I'm in a similar boat. My weight is as I've discussed, because my journey is taking a little bit different path to you right now. So I'm not quite in the maintenance phase, because I'm certainly haven't hit my goal weight, but my plans have changed. I'm now focusing more on gym and tone, toning myself up a little bit, and sort of doing some weights rather than just cardio based stuff. And as a result, with this week being the gigonkarin headache on Wednesday, plus my vaccine. It's now Saturday, a time of recording, and I haven't gone since Tuesday. And like I want to go, and it's like killing me. It's weird how my brain's like, you should go to the gym. I'm like, I want to go to the gym. It's like, but you just had a vaccine. My arm hurts, but I can't lift anything. I probably shouldn't do it.
Just go do legs.
I was thinking about just gonna just go and walk on the treadmill for about an hour or whatever, and just sort of put something on my phone. And I'm like 17 episodes behind in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Probably could just do that. But yeah, I feel like just doing something, because like my weight's still steady. It did bang up a little bit, because like when
do you have a WrestleMania feast, did you?
I did have a mad WrestleMania feast. We had a big WrestleMania breakfast on Sunday. I ate way too much. It was fantastic. And then obviously as I was feeling shittier throughout the week, because of the ginormous headache and the vaccine, and having like trying to avoid any potential headaches and or sort of those rollover effects. My concern was around, because when you're in a calorie deficit, which is what the shakes are designed to do, is designed so you're consuming less than your body needs, is your brain can sometimes crack the shits at you because of it, and you'll get a massive headache because you're not getting the right amount of sugars, or you're not getting the right amount of carbs, protein, whatever the fuck, right? So I'm like, I'm really not gonna like try starve myself over the next couple of days. Like I normally not starve myself, but I try to monitor my calorie intake over the next couple of days, because if I'm already feeling like garbage, I don't want to feel worse. So I kind of blurred the lines a little bit in order just to help keep myself fucking sane over those couple of days when it was sucking really, really hard. But ideally everything will go back, and next week I can start gyming again, and depending on how long my arm wants to hurt. But I'm very keen to get back. But if you want to support us on our weight loss journeys, or maybe even start your own, there is a link in the description below. It is bit.ly, bit.ly/FTP Manshake. You don't have to buy anything. Just by clicking the link, you are supporting Max, myself, and maybe even changing your life. All right, that's enough about that. Let's get into the section we call Inform the Players. We tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation. Now, because I fucked up Max's news and I threw out his to and fro order that he works so painstakingly over, I have to start the news today. PS5 gets some updates today, Max. This week, we saw the first PS5 firmware update since its launch in October. The biggest feature to come with this update, my shoulder, is the ability... Nope, that didn't come with the update, though. The biggest feature to come with this update is the ability to now store your PS5 games on an external HDD. You still can't launch the PS5 title from the external drive, however. You also can't download them straight to said drive. However, having this now be an option will help alleviate our storage woes until the M.2 drive is unlocked. The other features added are mainly quality of life changes, the ability to see hidden trophies and access the trophy list easier. You can now hide games from your library list, so any demos or anything you need to fuck off, you can. You can disable HDR if not supported and automatically play at 120Hz when it's available. Accompanying the PS5 updates, the DualSense also received an update. And unfortunately, there are no patch notes on the DualSense, however. But the general consensus on the internet is the DualSense now more closely emulates the rumble of the DualShock 4 when playing PS4 games on your PS5. There's a couple other things that were added to this as well. That issue when you delete a game and just fucking hangs around on your bar, that's gone. Thank Christ.
They've now separated the friends list and the party list by an L1, R1 toggle.
Yeah, you can now go in. You can now manage your downloads easily from the fucking hotbar or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
but yeah, it is primarily a lot of quality of life updates, but they're really good. And I'm
really liking the fact that I can now store my PS5 games on a hard drive.
Well, because you're not using an external.
I wasn't using an external drive at all. I was just deleting, re-downloading whenever I needed to, because obviously I have the luxury of I have a 400 megabit connection at home. It doesn't take me too long to re-download stuff.
Yeah.
So I just do that. But now that I have the option, you best believe in like for the past 3 weeks we haven't been playing COD because we're kind of over it. We're waiting for the new map. There's 150 gig that I can move to a hard drive and not have to re-download when I want to. You know, it's not a small chunk of the drive space.
Yeah, so I've got a 2 terabyte plugged into the back of my PS5 for the PS4 games, obviously, because at the time the PS5s can go there. But yeah, having moved some across while I need to, if I need to install something, or because for some fucking reason, like even though I haven't removed Cyberpunk yet, because I'm too lazy to re-download 100 gig when it comes out, when the PS5 version comes out, it doesn't want to update. So it downloads the update and then it goes, can't install it.
Well, apparently that's one of the other things that fixed. They'll update now.
Because I had to pull it back to the PS5, install it, and then move it back. Complete annoyance. But hopefully, if that's fixed, then that's a big, big win. Is there anything that you'd want to see in a future update now that we know that they are actively coming out?
Not really. I mean, it's nice to see that when the PS5 gets an update, it looks like the DualSense is probably going to get one too.
Well, you compared to the DualShock 4, which never got like had its own firmware. The DualSense does. That's pretty cool. It means that at least there's a bit of work they can do in there to make it optimized in some way.
It'll be interesting to see if games themselves take advantage of it. If they go, but hey, we're not happy with how we released the title with DualShock support or DualSense support.
Yeah.
Here's a list of the changes we've made. I wonder if that's a back-end change on the game software itself, or if it's going to be a firmware update for the controller.
Maybe it can be a little bit of both as well. Maybe how it communicates to the console is a little bit different. So yeah, that's a cool little feature if you can go in there and fuck with it a bit later, which would be nice.
Because I know, like taking the Switch for example, when you put some games in, it's like, hey man, you need to update your Joy-Con, and then it'll flick you an update. Possible. So I wonder if it'll do the same thing here with the
because I oddly remember back in the day on the PS3, because when they presumed that not everyone had internet connected to it, if you put the disc in, the disc would have the software update on it. That's made me laugh. I think Call of Duty had the most, because I knew that was going to get out to the most hands. Speaking of getting to the most hands.
PlayStation's hiring run. So Sony appears like it's in the early stages of establishing a new department within its PlayStation Studios infrastructure, with a focus on converting its key franchises to smartphones. A job listing for a head of mobile role situated at the company's headquarters in San Mateo states the candidates will, quote, own and develop the mobile game strategy for PlayStation Studios and help build a foundation for future growth opportunities. It continues with, quote, you will lead all aspects of the expansion of our game development from consoles and PCs to mobile and live services, with a focus on successfully adapting PlayStation's most popular franchises for mobile. They add potential recruits will, quote, be responsible for building and scaling a team of mobile leaders and will serve as the head of this new business unit within PlayStation Studios within a 3 to 5 year time frame. What do you reckon? How do you feel about Sony licenses going to...
This is the first time they've done... Like, there was an Uncharted game that came to the mobiles a little while ago. I remember what it was called, like Golden Run or something. I didn't really play it, nor did I really enjoy it. From what I looked at, I was like, I don't enjoy that. I could have a feeling I'm not going to like you, so I didn't play it.
But with phones getting more and more powerful...
That is very true. Phones are incredibly powerful now. I do think this is... it's this weird line. Like, from a business perspective, it is a smart option. It's get your properties into the hands of people that you can. It's kind of what Microsoft are planning to do. However, I do wonder what's going to come across. Obviously, PS5 games ain't going to run. Fortune Hunter, thank you, Dash, for the Uncharted game. So I know that they're not going to bring PS5 games over, maybe PS3, maybe PS4, but even then, like, how intense, or is it complete brand new, separate, different versions of games that are now coming to mobile? Like, are they going to essentially make Uncharted Golden Abyss, but for phones? Like,
it's where all the Vita games are going, and the PS3 games. They're closing the store, and they're going to put them all on mobile.
That's a reasonably cool idea, but. No, it's pretty cool idea. Actually, I can't argue that. That's actually a great way to use that those games. Like you can get like Persona 4 on people's phone. People are gonna shit themselves. But yeah, it is that weird line. To me, it does feel like one of those businessy decisions, which is from the conversation we had last week around PlayStation's more business-minded decisions rather than its creative framework they were looking at with the idea of, you know, what no risk adverse, right?
Yeah.
Mobile games tend to be pretty well received. People are willing to do it more. However, and especially they can also see a lot of money in it, depending on what they do.
Yeah, I mean, these days, almost everyone has a smartphone, and not everyone has a console.
Yeah.
So if they can get people on the smartphone market to be like, hey, I'm kind of these characters are kind of cool. Where else can I check them out? Hey, come buy one of these.
The concerns that I have, this is the same concern that's always been around for mobile gaming. I don't have an issue with mobile gaming per se. If you want to do it, fucking go ahead, man. Play the games however you want to play the games. However, the issue with phone games is its lowest common denominator.
Yeah, of course.
Like if a game is worth $15 on phones, no one's buying it. Like it's actually a full-blown legit game. I'm sorry, no one's paying that money. They either want it for free or they'll pay 99 cents. And I truly believe that PlayStation's IP are certainly worth more than 99
Yeah,
cents.
I nearly broke down the other week and paid $30 for Final Fantasy on my phone, and then I'm like, nah.
See? But you paid $30 to play on your console, would you not?
Yeah, I mean, I have.
Yeah, see, like, and I think that's a big part of it. And of course, that because of that lowest common denominator, the phone game market is disgusting. It's just it is microtransactions, and that's primarily all it is. And if that's what they want, then okay. But I don't for people that want to. It's that weird line as well. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what PlayStation gamers think because presumably we've already bought the game.
Yeah.
They're not selling it to us again.
No, they're not.
They want to resell Last of Us to us instead.
I was going to say they're selling other stuff to us.
You know what I mean? Like this is them trying to break that market, right? Yeah. They want to break out of the hardcore quote the gamer market and try to bring some casuals. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm the same. I think they're just wanting to get it. If it does pan out to anything, obviously, they're just wanting to get their properties out there into the eyes and hands of more people. And presumably, the more people that see it, the more likely sales will rise from them eventually. If, like I said earlier, they're like, hey, these characters are cool. I want to see more of them. Where can I find more of them? Or they're over here behind this hardware. Yeah,
I don't think the return on investment is strong enough. No. Yeah. Like, if they want to be as risk adverse as they're claiming to be, this is the wrong path. Well, like, there's money. To me, this reads like there's money in phone games.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but you know the money is in microtransactions? It's money.
Well, we're just going to get an Uncharted Match 3 Bejeweled game.
Ooh.
Additionally, recently PSVR-focused studio Sony London is also hiring. Roles include the likes of artists, graphics programmers, and animators, but there are also a couple of references to multiplayer. Quote, we are really excited to open this hire for an experienced online gameplay designer because it's a role of crucial importance to the new PlayStation 5 project we are working on here at London Studio. The listing reads. The post also explains that, quote, as a first-party studio, we set out to produce games which show the exciting potential of the latest PlayStation hardware. So it's important you are up for experimenting and working in uncharted design territory. Are they making the new Uncharted game? Is that what they're throwing out there?
They work on the remake?
No, we're going to...
Remake of the remake?
But there is no mention of PlayStation VR in any of their job listings.
So initially, this is good news. I think the fact that Sony London got sort of pushed into the VR space was a risk. However, I did like that there was at least one studio working primarily on VR. They had Gorilla Cambridge as well, but that got shunned after Riggs, which is a real shame because they kind of got sent out to die. But like Sony London, probably best known for Blood and Truth is a big one. The Getaway back on PS2, like they're probably their most notable franchises, right? I'm very happy that they're doing something PS5.
PS5, yeah.
That is good news. That means they're doing something different, and I think this could potentially do a nice little contrary to what Shrai's report was. If they're allowed to do something new, presumably, then that's cool. But nothing doesn't stipulate.
Well, that's
anything,
that's the thing. Like
new IP here.
Well, the other thing is, it depends on how long they've been working on this.
If they're grabbing these people,
true, I guess.
They're just about to start active development. Like they've done, you'd presume they've done pre at this point.
Yeah. Because if Sony's only just recently made the decision of like, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it. If they've already got something in their backlog ready to go, they might have been, in a safety bubble from that decision.
Yeah, but those decisions that Jason Schreier reported on happened in 2019, 2020.
True.
So it's not as if they're recent decisions. And like if they're...
Because when did Blood and Truth release?
Oh,
a couple of years
2019.
ago. Yeah.
In 2019? Yeah. The game was really cool. I like the game a lot, actually. Probably one of the ones I'd like to try again on the PS5, because apparently it's up-res and it's sharper, and that game is fantastic. I think it's pretty relatively easy play. It's got run it a couple of times. And I did most of it from memory. Is the game that I'm most excited for, Max. We are like 2, maybe 3 weeks away.
Is this the first game that's going to be on your draft list? That's going to come.
Oh my god! This is the first game on my draft list that is looking to release, and that's Resident Evil 8. So this Friday morning, Resident Evil showcase. So Capcom threw another one out there. We heard about this like a week and a bit ago.
Yep,
it's pretty cool. So they did announce that there were essentially 2 more demos coming for Resident Evil 8 Village. One being the Village demo and one being the Castle demo. However, for some fucking reason, they are time allocated. So they are allocated in the same way that you can only play them for half an hour, each of them. Half an hour for one, half an hour for the other. But they are only going to be available in the store and accessible for certain windows of time. The problem is, we here in Australia, we've been connected to the UK times, the Europe time zone. So for us, it's dumb fucking times. So, as Max wrote, for those of us here in Australia, we can play the Village demo this coming Monday, the 19th. However, the demo is only available for an 8-hour window from 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'm at work from 9 a.m. and I'm sleeping in the rest. Max, you're working in that window.
Yeah, I work until 7 a.m. and then I sleep for the rest of that window.
Yep. And so the second demo, the Castle demo, which will run the following Monday, the 26th, with the same 8-hour window, lasting for 30 minutes again, but with both demos will make a return on May the 2nd for a 24-hour period with 1 hour of gameplay total.
So for context, sorry to cut you off.
That's right. No.
The 2 demos that are coming out this Monday and next Monday are PlayStation exclusives.
Yeah.
On the 2nd of May, they are available for all platforms.
Yep.
And that's why it's available for the 24-hour window. And the 1 hour of gameplay is the total, because you'll get half an hour from one, half an hour from the other. Context.
It's so fucking dumb, though.
Yeah.
So a new story-related... additionally, a new trailer-related story was shown off. Not too much shown here. No. Kind of a lot of the same footage, but just more things to entice you. And enticed I was... Additionally, they did announce that Resident Evil Mercenaries will be making its return in Village. Mercenaries is an arcade time trial horde mode, where the idea is to let players compete in high score challenges by getting kills and time extension bonuses. And it will include new features like power-ups, upgrades, and weapon shops between rounds. So the idea is get to A to B, get as fast as you can while killing as many dudes as you can.
So I think this was last in Resident Evil 6.
Yes, that's right.
So it definitely wasn't in 7.
Yeah, certainly was not. So Capcom premiered the first trailer for the upcoming Netflix animated movie Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. Infinite Darkness does reunite Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield as they fend off against a zombie outbreak, this time in the White House. Fun fact, it's the same president from Resident Evil 4. So Ashley's father.
Yeah.
Speaking of Resident Evil 4, it is going to be first person. You thought you were getting a remake, weren't you? Joke's on you! It's coming to the Oculus Quest 2.
I'm really upset you did not read my opening sentence there.
Well, as I say, Resident Evil 4 is going first person and heading to a face near you. Fuck you. No wonder I skipped it. More details are to come, however, on April the 21st at the Oculus Game Showcase. And a short teaser was shown with things like Leon holding weapons, interacting with virtually attached... a virtual attached case, and using a virtual hand crank for some puzzles. And lastly, Mr. X is now joining Dead by Daylight in their latest collaboration. Behavior Interactive will reveal the Resident Evil chapter on May 25th during the Death by Daylight's 5th anniversary stream. The collab chapter will be released in June. So they just constantly spent the whole thing reminding you that there's 25 years of Resident Evil. So if you forgot, you'll remember in 30 seconds. So much so they had like what they referred to as powerhouses of the gaming industry, like comment and say, congratulations on 25 years. You want to know who they fucking picked? Mark Cerny, PlayStation. Shuhei Yoshida, PlayStation. A woman from Naughty Dog, PlayStation. The woman that won the thing from Media Molecule, also PlayStation. And who's the other person? Someone else who's also from PlayStation. So like, it's everyone that gave them like, yeah, well done, congrats, all PlayStation people. I was like, fuck yeah. In that though, is a post showcase, they did also announce the different resolutions and frame rates that will be available to Village over the umpteenth level of games that there are. So let's go from presumably best-ish to worst-ish. So the PS5 will have two options. It'll have a 4K 60 frames per second, and then it'll have maximum, and then it'll have a PS5 ray tracing mode, so essentially a quality mode, which will be 4K at 45 frames per second. The Series X is the exact same with 4K at 60 frames and a ray tracing at 4K 45. The PS4 Pro also has two options, one at 1080p 60 FPS and presumably up-res to 4K 30 frames per second mode. This base PS4, however, 900p at 45 frames per second. The Xbox...
I think there's a typo in the next one because there's no way the Xbox Series S is running it at 144p.
No, so yeah, so the Xbox S... Not the Series S. What's the other one called? One S.
The One
The
S.
Xbox One S is
not even on that list. The Series S is on the list.
I think it's the X. It's kind of, I think it's the same sort of grunt. That can't be right.
Yeah, that must be a typo.
I'm gonna say this because okay. So it says the Xbox Series S 144p. That can't be right. That is so subpar. I'm gonna say that's 1440p at 45. And Xbox Series S ray tracing 1440 at 30.
That would make sense to me.
And the Xbox One X at 1080p 60, Xbox One X high res 4K 30, and yes, 1440p. Thank you. And the Xbox One 900p 30 frames.
Yeah. So you can tell this game was designed with
current
gen in mind, and they kind of
big time, very big time. Yeah,
they kind of just rolled it down for the.
Yeah, so in that case, it is the Series S with 1440p.
Yeah. Because that's a bizarre.
Fuck, yeah. All right, so there's a lot of Resident Evil stuff here, Max. Now, me, very, very excited, very keen for a number of reasons. A, because it's the first game on my draft list, and I'm feeling very confident that this is going to score exceptionally well, or at least well enough to make me not suck so hard in the draft.
It's at least not going to be a 0.
Yeah, it's coming out. I'm confident it's not going to be a 0, and right now, when I'm 3 games down. This is nothing but good news. But the game looks brilliant. I finally learned how to say the tall woman's name. Mm-hmm. It's Lady Dimitrescu or Dimitre or something.
Oh, he's already forgotten, ladies and gentlemen.
But like the CU at the end is not pronounceable. It's Lady Dimitrescu. It's like French is the idea. So we see a little bit more of her. We see a bit more of the Duke. We see a bit more of the guy who kind of looks like John Abruzzi from Prison Break with sunnies on. The tall horny lady. So we get to see a little bit more of that sort of stuff. We get to see more of the village itself with some of the townsfolk around a table. So you see that there are some people living in that area that aren't sexy vampire ladies. I'm excited for these 2 demos, but the time thing is bullshit.
Yeah, I'm literally not going to be able to check them out until the 2nd of May. Yeah. When I've got a 24-hour slot of I'm going to get in there quick.
Yeah, and that's like 5 days before release.
Yeah. It's a real shame.
Yeah,
it's an odd decision to lump us in the European time zone. Yeah,
like I understand that we are normally part of the Europe time, like in terms of regions, we do like we are put in with Europe, but like this seems like a bad call.
Yeah.
However,
it is what it is.
Look, most gamers are in that time zone anyway. It's just us because we're adults, I guess. It's part of it.
Like, quite frankly, it's purely because I'm at work.
Yeah,
It's like the only
being
thing.
an adult at work. Mercenaries seems cool. They also announced that they've wrapped production on the Resident Evil reboot live action film. Sick.
So I was talking to some friends last night because one of them, a friend of the show, Cass, big Dead by Daylight fan, and I was telling him that Mr. X is coming, and then obviously that that song popped in my head. X Con Give It To You. Like, if they're not playing that while I'm hunting people down as Mr. X in Dead by Daylight,
DMX.
I don't know if I want it.
Yeah. I never played Dead by Daylight. It looks cool, though.
It's kind of fun. I find
Isn't it the basis for what, like, Friday the 13th and that was?
Yeah, but a little bit different. So Friday the 13th is cool because there's different tasks that you would have to do, and there's different ways to escape. Whereas Dead by Daylight, there is only one way to, like, generally you have to turn on all the generators, which unlocks the door, and then you leave.
Okay.
Whereas in Friday the 13th, you could call in Tommy, or you could fuel the boat and drive
or fix the
boat
car,
away, or fix the car, or call the police, and then you just got to wait for the police to get there. Like, there's a few different win conditions. In Dead by Daylight, it's turn all the generators on, door opens, or if you're the last survivor, there is a secret hidden hatch that will get you out of there, that will open when you're the last person alive. You can kind of,
yeah. Well, because it seems to be, as they mentioned in the showcase, like this Hall of Fame for horror, because there's like this, Konami's giving no shits about Silent Hill right now, but Pyramid Head's in there. And
yeah, Mike Myers is in there. There's a few of their like own original people. There's Texas Chainsaw Massacre dude.
Oh, Leatherface?
Leatherface, yeah.
Leatherface?
Well, he's in it too.
I go with Leatherface.
There's the whole time. Freddy Krueger's in there.
Hey.
My personal favorite killer to play. Like, yeah. It's good. It's good. It's free upgrade to PlayStation 5 if you own it on PS4. Actually, I think it was a PlayStation Plus game at one point. Maybe. You correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm unsure on that. But
there's
where's Puck when you need him? Puck! Puck with the facts!
I definitely own it, apparently.
Yeah.
So, but there is a free PS5 upgrade, and they're always on sale. They're DLCs and stuff. Yeah. So it normally costs you about $5 per character.
Okay.
They're pretty
Not
reasonably
rushing
priced. Puck's like, pardon? We're just yelling at him.
Was Dead by Daylight ever a PS Plus game? Thank you, Puck.
Probably not.
Love you, Puck.
I'm probably really wrong. Well, Ryan. Days gone, but maybe not forgotten.
Fuck you.
After last week's Bloomberg report and the lack of green light for a Days Gone 2, gamers and the internet have done what they do best. They've kicked up a storm and they've created a change.org petition. The petition is currently asking Sony to approve Days Gone 2. At the time of recording, the petition is sitting at just over 25,000 signatures. So,
are you on there?
No.
Me either.
In an interview with David Jaffe, ex-Days Gone game director, eased that the sequel would have featured, quote, a shared universe with co-op play. We intended co-op from the beginning in Days Gone, but obviously you have to make concessions for what you're not going to be able to do, Ross revealed, as transcribed by VGC. Quote, it would have been a secondary mode if we had done it in the first one or even in another one. I wouldn't have complicated the main narrative because that's really what we're good at.
That's quote.
That's the quote. That was the strength of the first title, so build on that and make it better. He continued, quote, but then take this world that you've built and all these assets and systems and repurpose them for some sort of similarly themed multiplayer version of this universe. So it would be with guys like Deacon trying to survive, building up a clubhouse or a crew. I think it would have been fun in that world cooperatively and see that horde battles could be like, it's one of the things that we had in our pitch. It was the idea of a shared universe with co-op play.
The infinite knowledge that his Puck has come through and he says it was free for PS Plus in North America, September of 2018.
Okay. Damn. So I definitely didn't get it with PlayStation Plus then.
Survival Days Gone. Would have
been pretty cool.
I'll play the fuck out of it. Because like it's one of those things, it's like it's
doing those like freaker hordes with multiple people would have been rad. Probably
like planning traps.
Probably would have chugged a lot more though, but would have been rad.
I do think I think it would have greatly pushed what they could have achieved. And I think that's where a sequel would have been the next. They would have been a PlayStation. Because survival games.
Okay, thank you, Park. It was also available for all power regions at the same time.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
So, and it's possible that I have it then. Sweet. I like the idea because there's enough survival established elements in Days Gone that I would want to do that. Yeah. And like there's enough there, like even just something as simple as fuel in your bike. That is very clearly a dreg of that survival theme that they were going for. And I think the world itself is nice and it's vast, and I think I would love to do that.
Do you think this change.org petition will change Sony's mind?
Fuck no. Tell me, anyone playing at home, tell me one fucking time a change.org petition has done anything. Apart from waste a bunch of time.
Well, apparently at 35...
When are they ever taken seriously, especially in the gaming space?
Well, apparently once it reaches 35,000 votes, it will be the highest voted on change.org petition. Being like the
because
top
you know what PlayStation want to be done? Forced to make a decision. Because they're going to, they very clearly, as we learned last week, they have some sort of resentment towards Sony Bend, or at least some disrespect. So how do you think they're going to feel when they essentially had their hand forced to work with this studio? They're like, well, you can make Days Gone 2, we're not going to give you any support.
Yeah.
The Change.org wanted you to. So they can set them up to fail. If they want to. And it wouldn't surprise me if they did. Yeah. But I think for me, that's enough for me. I'm excited. I would play the fuck out of that, because I've been playing The Forest a little bit recently with a friend of mine, Lloyd, one of the fellow ambassadors for the Manshake, and it's fun. So I understand survival games are very specific, and I can understand why that may have been turned down a little bit, because that's incredibly niche, and you are turning away a lot of people with that.
Yeah.
But if you put enough survival elements into something, I think it can add that bit of fun to it. So not the multiplayer. So the multiplayer idea of it, dope. Because even State of Decay had a very similar... State of Decay 2, actually. Sorry, that's what I remember playing. Had a lot of those sort of survival work together.
Well, that's what I was gonna bring that up. Playing a game similar to that of State of Decay 2 inside of the Days Gone verse
in Oregon
would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm
in Oregon.
Very down.
Yeah.
There's the Oregon verse.
The Oregon verse.
I think it's cool.
I
think it would have been great. Even in some sort of if they were working on if they got assigned to work on factions, I think they should have done this. Like a multiplayer Days Gone side expansion. They could use the same world, everything. And the idea that I get to go and make my own friggin' biker club somewhere, dope. Dope. Do it, you bastards. But they won't now. I'm not going to tell them. Can't tell them not to.
Quick bits?
Yep.
Ubisoft has announced that its next Ubisoft Forward event will take place during the same week as E3 on the 12th of June.
That's 13th for us. So
13th for us.
7 a.m. or something.
Yeah. WWE 2K22 was announced during Wrestlemania with the tagline, "It hits different," with the teaser focusing on Rey Mysterio.
I'd hope so. They don't hit like shit. So
as long as it just hits, it'll be fine.
Yeah. As long as it hits and they don't fall through the mat, I'll be pretty happy. All right.
Mass Effect Legendary Edition will have a photo mode for all those playing at home and love photo mode.
I know the Mule will be very excited. Take a lot of photos of butts, I'm sure.
Following the rumors that Square Enix was in talks about selling, they have released the following statement, quote, Bloomberg has reported today that there is interest from several buyers to acquire Square Enix. However, this report is not based on any announcement by Square Enix Holdings. We do not consider selling off the company or any part of its businesses, nor have we received any offer from any third party to acquire the company or any part of its businesses.
Well, the credit to the start...
Because it was from Bloomberg Japan.
Yeah. So the first half of that sentence makes me go, yeah, right. The second half, we've not received any offer from any third party. Makes me go... Oh, well, if you there's the first part is vague enough that it could be obscuring the fact, but that back end makes me go. If you say that claim and then someone goes, "Hey, we offered," and no, we offered. That's a straight lie.
Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales has outsold Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima in the US.
It's pretty impressive since it came out in October.
Cyberpunk 2077 has helped CD Projekt Red set a new company record for yearly sales and revenue in 2020 with a cool $562 million. For context, their previous record was $201 million the year Witcher 3 was released in 2015. Epic Games has raised a further $1 billion in funding, with Sony signing the check on another $200 million investment, following the $250 million back in 2020. Quote, the investment builds on the already close relationship between the two companies and reinforces their shared mission to advance the state-of-the-art technology, entertainment, and socially connected online services, a press release reads. Oh, and Aloy is coming to Fortnite.
Yeah.
The Aloy Cup is actually running this weekend, I think.
It apparently kind of works. Apparently there's like a real primal sort of feel right now.
Yeah,
so
it's the season of the primal, and you like craft weapons, and there's dinosaurs and wolves and shit running around the island.
I was talking to a client actually about this. Apparently, there's like dinosaurs that can just rock up and fuck your day up.
Yeah.
So even if you're like, if you could be like fourth, and you're just sneaking your way, and then I'd get launched by a raptor, and you're like, and it's like sucker. Cool, but there's a lot of things.
Fire now spreads, built like people doing those stupid fuck off build battles. You just like throw some fire on the bottom, the whole thing burns down.
Dope.
It's like, you build your tower, and I'll just burn it down.
That's good. I like that because I fucking hate that. That's one of those reasons I've never played is because the tower's not. Go back up for a second. Let's touch upon some of these things. We've the quick bitties, but we talk about them. So with the Square Enix, apparently, allegedly, Microsoft was in talks. Sony came in talks later, and there was someone else involved as well.
Because obviously, so we discussed this with after the show Dash last night and Padge. So Microsoft currently have an agreement with Square anyway, because I think almost every single Final Fantasy game is either on or coming to Games Pass in the near future.
And PlayStation and Square are very clearly in a handshakey sort of deal with Final Fantasy 16 exclusively coming to PlayStation on consoles.
Yep.
And
obviously we had Final Fantasy 7
other game they're working on.
Yeah, and obviously we had Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Aethia?
Was a
that one?
It's been named now. I can't think of it off the top. Forspoken. Might be Forspoken.
Forspoken.
Yeah,
dumb sentence from me.
And yeah, PlayStation had that year-long exclusivity with Final Fantasy 7 remake.
It's expired now, but nothing's coming out of it. By the way, when are they gonna go on with that?
Games Pass in a week.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they're waiting to drop all Final Fantasies, including 7 remake.
Because there's tons on there now. I think like the old classics. I think it's got 7, 8, 9 already. I think
Final Fantasy, of course. This Cyberpunk thing, right? So they're great. They made $562 million over the last financial year. So sorry, just before you get into it, the other interesting thing about this is The Witcher launched at the start of the year and had almost a full year to make its 200 and whatever million. Cyberpunk, I just had a complete blank there. Cyberpunk came out in September, October. Mm-hmm. So it had the back end of the year. Now, granted, they sold a lot of pre-release, like a lot of pre-order copies before everyone realized what a potential problem that game was. And still is. CDPR will not learn a thing from this. Because one of the biggest, the people, like, it wasn't the development team that were causing the problems. The issue were the executive and upper management. And for them, from a profit perspective, their tactics made money. And this the game, like, I'm sure there's coming conversations where, like, the gaming community forgets. If we come out with something about The Witcher in like 6 months, every bit of bad press we got, gone. So for them, I guarantee you, they will repeat.
Yeah, I would like to say people wouldn't pre-order things now, but I have a feeling that if they're like, "Hey, Witcher 4's coming," people will be lining up to
instantly.
Yeah,
and they'll learn nothing. It's gross, and all this is going to do is reinforce that behavior, reinforce that way of thinking, and it's only going to negatively impact the people that want to play. And they'll be like, "Oh man, we thought CDPR could do no wrong again." I'm like, nope, they were a shitty company before and they're a shitty company now. They never cared about you.
If we're talking about quick biddies, what do you think's coming out of the Ubisoft Forward event during E3?
Splinter Cell. I have no idea.
Because they canned Prince of Persia.
Yeah. Oh, they might put a date on Prince, but like it's indefinitely delayed.
Maybe DLC for
Immortals has new DLC coming out next week.
Yeah.
So that's not until June. Like because it's presumably
Assassin's Creed. That's the game I'm
Yeah,
thinking
Assassin's
about.
Creed will probably be a biggie.
Rainbow Six Siege will probably get a look in.
That Quarantine game they were going to
Yeah.
originally do. I think there's been enough time now. Maybe whatever the next Ghost Recon's going to be. Just Dance.
Yeah,
107.
Just Dance 107. It's definitely going to be there.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that'll be in there, but I don't know. We'll probably hear more because one thing that Ubisoft are really good at is leaking shit before it happens. So we'll keep an eye out in May. All right, let's get
out in May.
let's get in the top 10 best-selling games of the week. Whatever the last week was. I don't know, fucking a day.
I can scroll across.
Number 10, Outriders. Number 9, Need for Speed Heat. Number 8, God of War. Number 7, Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 6, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Number 5, NBA 2K21. Number 4, It Takes Two. Number 3, FIFA 21. Number 2, Ghost of Tsushima. And in the surprise of no one, because of that sweet Easter sale, number 1 is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Upcoming releases this week, we have MLB The Show 21 coming April 20th for PlayStation 4 and 5.
I'm talking about the baseball.
We have
Sorry.
Mask Maker coming April 20th for
Talking about the
PSVR.
Mask Maker.
MotoGP 21 April 22nd on PlayStation 4 and 5.
I'm not going to do it again, don't worry.
Thank God. We have the Atelier Mysterious Trilogy Deluxe Pack coming April 22nd.
I saw that. They're like,
It's definitely not April 2nd, Max. Well done.
Yeah, nice.
Coming to PlayStation 4. And lastly, we have Nier Replicant coming April 23rd to PlayStation 4.
Looking at the PlayStation Store, you can see the trilogy, then a 2-pack, then a different 2-pack, and then all 3 of them singly. It's like there's like 2 solid lines of just Atelier. You enjoyed it. What was the last? Did you play Atelier recently?
I had someone message me this morning going, "Hey man, I saw you playing them. What do you reckon?" I'm like, I kind of dug him. And he's like,
"Is this the same ones you played?
Like,
Did you play Atelier?"
I played Reza. I don't think it's because it's just 1 and 2 from memory.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a trilogy. Might be one of the.
This might be something else, I guess. And then obviously Nier Replicant you're keen for too.
So keen for Nier Replicant. So that's back when Nier originally came out 30 million years ago, the East got a different release than the West.
It did.
And this is the release that the East got coming to the West with some slight gameplay changes.
Yeah, this is Nier Replicant version 0.01846 into 3 to the power of certain whatever.
The Nier Replicant Pi version.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm super keen.
Not a Bethesda game. But
I loved the first one.
you enjoy Automata?
Automata was fantastic.
Oh, I say Automata. It's Automata. Automata.
Absolutely fantastic. Unless you played it on PC, in which case it was very questionable. I hear that it's getting fixed because it's currently on Games Pass for PC, but it's the Xbox port. It's not the Steam
So it's
PC
running
version.
fantastic.
So it runs great, and everyone on Steam's like, "This is bullshit." So apparently they're fixing it, but the game is fantastic.
See, I really liked Automata for like the short window of time that I still have it. But like, I liked that there was like 28 endings or whatever, and they're really random. So like, there was one where I was at a computer and it's like, "You want to pull the chip out inside of your face?" I'm like, "Sure." Credits.
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
Yeah. No, I think the first game had just as many as well. It's really good.
I know. It's very much like a Max game. So
oh yeah, I'm super keen.
I'll just be playing the baseballs and eagerly checking my email for like Resident Evil and Returnal. Eagerly.
Oh yeah,
checking it.
Returnal's so close too.
It's like 2 weeks, man. Everything's like 2. Like I was in the week after.
Do you
Holy
know,
shit!
how annoying is it that we've had like
Nothing,
and then all of a sudden they're just like,
we have wasted the first like 4 months of this year, Max. We could have backlogged something fierce. We could have done some great things. What do we do? Nothing. And now we're about to get fucking boned with at least like 3 or 4 games in a 3-week period.
Yeah.
Let's get fucked.
you know. And I'm also pretty keen on playing Pokemon Snap next week too. I think that launches next week. So
That either I didn't pay attention or that came out. That's really coming out of the blue. I know it's been out of date for a while, but like that's really snuck up on me.
Yeah. This year's gone by pretty quick.
I still haven't bought the 3D whatever fucking land on the one that's all.
You can't.
You can buy it in store, can't you?
The Mario 3D land?
Yeah.
No, it's gone. It left the end of last
but
month.
you buy it in store, can't you?
No, it's gone.
Oh, they had to take it off the shelves?
Oh, you mean from in-store?
Yeah.
They're probably still selling it in store.
Yeah, of course it's still selling.
Or was it just online only?
No, it was digital as well. It's digital
No,
and physical.
no, Reverend Park, digital only. Fuck you,
What?
right? You can't get it.
Fuck off. No, 100%. Like, it's in store. Because I have it open on my phone.
Are you and it's gone.
Where is it? Oh, I closed the tab.
It's gone forever now.
Idiot. But like, okay, I'll just because I know you can buy it physically in like
you know what it's going to be? It'll be a physical box, and you'll open it. It'll be a digital code that's now expired and doesn't work.
Oh, really? That would
actually, I have no idea, but that
fun.
would make sense.
Actually, that would explain why. Fuck.
Hey, you had 8 months to buy it, okay?
Yeah, fuck.
Because, they ran out of stock, man. They only had so many keys to sell people. And
Nintendo, you're fucking dumb. Dash has got a spare copy. Is it a code, though, or is it a chip?
Tips.
If it's a chip in a case, I'll just go to EB Games, because apparently there's some still available in Wampons. But, like, if it's a code inside a box, then that's going to be a problem. Either way. It depends on what's inside the case. That's the big thing. It's not a code. Then I can totally go buy one. Fucking goddamn Puck coming in with the probably true facts. Either way, thank you very much for joining the show. It's getting sweaty in here. This polyester did exactly what I thought it was going to do. It is damp in this.
It got
shirt.
hot real quick though.
It did. Still love you, Puck. Don't worry. So number one.
The score still is heavily in your favor.
Yeah. You're like 7,842 to 1. You're fine.
I guess,
Close right, Max.
I guess this is me, isn't it? This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, come and check out our socials. Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those links can be found in the description below.
You can join us as the conversation happens. Say that again. If you want to join us as the conversation happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can become part of the show. Maybe you can try beat Puck as being the encyclopedia of the things that keeps Ryan and Max from saying dumb shit. And of course, you want to support the show, you can tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation pod. You can also, if you're on podcast services, give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. We endeavor to answer every single comment. And if you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopcultures, as well as our merchandise store, popculture.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. We're episode 198, Max.
Ooh.
We are so
close
to 200. We have nothing planned.
I have 2 weeks to get into better shape for our naked show. Wait, what?
Yeah, it's the shirtless. It's the shirtless show. There's just man titties everywhere. And that's that. No, it's the day we launch our OnlyFans. And you want to only be a fan, because anyone else, it's gonna be fucking gross.
You want to be an audio only fan? Hey.
But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was For the Players.